The film Groundhog Day is considered to be one of the greatest films of the 90s. The protagonist is a TV weatherman, Phil, who relives the same day, February the 2nd, over and over again. He realizes that he is trapped in a time loop, waking up and experiencing the same day again and again. Realizing that there are no consequences for his action, Phil starts indulging in some harmful behavior, binge eating, one-night stands, robbery, and other dangerous activities. He eventually becomes depressed and tries to find a way to get out of the loop, at some point even attempting suicide. Now, here in Kenya, I think we're all cast members of that movie, waking up to the same day, doing the same thing, expecting different results, and even trying some dangerous and desperate things. You see, I'm talking about the wash, rinse, repeat cycle of constituting our electoral management bodies. Let me take you down memory lane of how we've managed our elections. In 1988, during the single-party election, the elections were managed by the district officers and district commissioners. The DCs were the returning officers for all the constituencies. They basically decided who won the elections. The Mlolongo system was in play, and quite glaringly, it was not the length of the queue that determined the winner, but the winner lay in the eyes of the DC and in the wishes of the party and its leader. Now, in 1992, there was a new dawn of a multi-party election that heralded a new management body known as the Electoral Commission of Kenya, ECK. It was headed by Zacchaeus Chesoni, but the commissioners were all unilaterally appointed by one person. And that is why there was much noise in the years following that election. You will recall the movements and the chants everywhere. No reforms, no budget. No reforms, no elections. President Moi finally yielded to that pressure, and IPPG was born, allowing members of the opposition to the selection table. And so come 1997, the ECK, chaired by Samuel Kivuitu, had a significantly different face, with commissioners like Jack Tumwa and Yusuf Nzibo. A divided opposition, though collectively garnering more votes than the incumbent, lost that election. 2002, widely considered our most transparent election, was one for the books. Samuel Kivuitu was still at the helm. The commission was considered steady, very helpful for what was a transitional election. There were no wild statements from the commissioners, and they largely managed to withstand external political pressures and interferences from their command center at City Hall, Nairobi. But you see, they had been together a long time, and they were managing their second election. They had had time to gel and work together as a team. But it would seem, just like in the Groundhog movie, we went back to our old ways. You see, in the run-up to the 2007 election, President Kibaki trashed the IPPG agreement and unilaterally appointed commissioners to the electoral management body without the opposition. Immediately, the perception set in that ECK was structured for a particular outcome, and one that was in favor of the appointing authority. What followed is well documented in this country. Unclear results, a disputed outcome, a president sworn in at night. And so we called everywhere for help. We all finally agreed that there is a problem with how we manage our elections. The Independent Review Commission was formed, otherwise known as the Krigler Commission, and the Waki Commission as well, to look into how we ran the elections. The raft of recommendations included swearing in a president between noon and no later than 2 p.m., which in a tropical country like this means that it is happening right when the sun is directly overhead. There would be no mistaking who was being sworn in. No shadow of doubt. Now, other recommendations included setting up an independent body to manage the elections, introduction of secure tallying and data transmission systems, as well as the now famous one of having commissioners appointed at least 2 years to the next election to enable them prepare adequately. What followed was the interim Independent Electoral Commission, which oversaw a voter registration exercise, by-elections, and even the 2010 referendum that ushered us into a new constitutional order. So, by 2013, one would have thought we were good. Except, history repeated itself yet again. The Isaac Hassan-led team conducted the March 4th election, but cracks emerged soon after. The results were disputed. There were accusations of a two-sided body, secretariat versus commissioners, commissioners versus commissioners. They were all eventually kicked out. 2017, a new face at the helm, Mr. Wafula Chebukati, who came in less than a year to that election. Again, same allegations, same accusations. Result disputed, result challenged, and for the first time in Kenya's history, results rejected by the Supreme Court. Again, a divided commission. 4 commissioners resign in dramatic fashion. And then again, the president makes great delay in appointing their replacements, waiting over 2 years to do so. 2022, we're once again treated to the high drama that is now becoming commonplace. Again, divided commission, disputed outcome. Some commissioners' terms come to an end. One is ousted. The rest resign. And so here we are again, just like in the Groundhog Day movie, waking up again and again to the same day to face the same situation. Today, no commissioners. Disputed process of their appointment. This time, a selection panel whose members are probably twiddling their thumbs somewhere, watching politicians bicker and fight as they try to constitute the commission in their own image. Talks that failed the first time, with a second attempt to begin officially tomorrow. What a time warp to be stuck in, over and over and over. We have tired our election system, much like the hamster in the wheel that is racing so fast to nowhere. Now back to Groundhog Day, the film. The main character, Phil, finally decides to do something good with this day that he has relived over and over again. So he starts to do good, save people from deadly accidents, and actually makes good use of that February 2nd day that he has been waking up to time and again. It is only then that he wakes up eventually to the next day, February the 3rd, after righting all his wrongs. My question is, will these talks that begin tomorrow, Friday, be our February the 3rd? Will we finally get it right with our electoral management body? That's my take.